Hey guys, I know a few of you have been asking about the GPS wiring. So GPS isn't for everybody. BRP comes with a map that displays down here, and it has the Northeast and Canadian trails on it, but it's not all the trails. We do find the GPS with the Trailmasters snowmobile trails built into it are a lot more accurate, or a lot more comprehensive. So if you do decide this is what you need, or this is what you want, then this video is for you. Alright, so to show you what I did, and there's a lot of different ways of doing this, the first thing you gotta do is access underneath the glove box. So in the glove box, it's the extended glove box with the GPS mounts. Underneath that, I ran wires. So to access that, the first thing you gotta do is pop off your windshield. So I'll come to this side, and there's a little tab you pull up. I already did the passenger side, and the whole windshield just slides right off. The next thing I'm gonna do is take out these two screws here. One, two. It's the only two you got to do with the extended glove box. Super easy. I thought I had to take out all of these under here and rip all this out, which I did, and I found out nope. It's just those two screws inside the extended glove box. One and two. So once you get those screws out, all you got to do is this whole glove box comes up. This whole panel slides into a little tab down here, and this whole gauge assembly slides out. So what I did, and there's a lot of ways of doing this, I talked to a bunch of people and they were saying to hardwire it into your solenoid and run the wires up. I didn't feel comfortable. I'm not that tech savvy. I don't like messing with things, although people are going to say I messed with this. Anyway, so Skidoo has this template here, and what this is called e-linq, and it's so you can put your battery emergency cutoff and your helmet connector into one connection instead of having to do two wires. I'm not going to spend $100 and something to mount something to do one wire as opposed to two. So there's wires under here that are pre-wired for that connection. So what I did was I bought the male component, and I wired in to a hot and a neutral on the e-linq. I ran those wires, wrapped them, ran them all the way up underneath and out through the back of the glove box. And I found that I don't really need it. The electronics in the GPS produce enough heat or warmth to keep that GPS from freezing. I've been out in 0-degree weather without it, and it's been fine. So I ran a switch to USB, so I can turn that USB off, on and off in here. This stays connected all the time, and when I'm shut down the snowmobile, the GPS is going to stay on because it's not a switched connection. So I just put in a little manual switch, and I can turn that GPS USB off. Now this glove box is not huge, so this is my on-off switch for the GPS. That kills this connector for the USB for the GPS. So when I shut down the machine, I just shut off that switch and we're good. I did put an inline fuse in there, and I don't feel like tearing apart the whole sled to show you where I ran the wires, but basically up under here I fed them out through here, underneath, 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 and out the back. When you get this apart, you'll see it. It's so easy. So in the links down below, the video description, I have the part number and a link to this connector. I have a link to the on-off switch for the GPS, the USB connector, you know, all that is in there. I even have the wire wrap to protect those wires from abrasion and stuff. You have any particular questions, you let me know. But again, I did all the hard work by researching it. You guys can figure this out without a doubt. When you're all done, the 2 screws, snap everything back in, the 2 screws hold it, windshield pops right back in. Easy peasy. So inside the glove box, Skidoo put one USB port. That's the one for your phone connection, and that's the one that lets your phone talk to the gauges on the dash. So there's not enough power in that one to power the GPS and the phone. I tried putting a splitter on it and there's just not enough amperage in it. So instead what I did was I ran that wire from the E-linq up underneath. It's really not that difficult. Again, 2 screws and this whole assembly like comes apart and pulls out. You'll figure it out. I'm an idiot, and if I figured it out, I'm sure you can. So I then ran the wire for the GPS through the back connector. There's a rubber boot, and I just wedged it underneath the rubber boot and ran it inside. So now I have the USB for the GPS. I do have a heated pad in with the GPS.